Welcome to OctoberFest. Won't you join us?
Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And on this episode, we are...
1981.
Yes, 1981's The Howling. I was going to say that we are pretty deep into OctoberFest now. We hope everyone is having a great October and have been enjoying these episodes. This is, I guess, the second oldest movie that we're doing this time, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, because Suspiria came out in 1977.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think anything in between there and
I forget
in 81.
what all we've done at this point.
Yeah, it kind of, we've done so much, but everything else, we did several, like Return of the Living Dead and Reanimator and Pumpkinhead. They were all later in the 80s. So I guess this is the second oldest movie. Are you having problems there?
Too many cables and not enough coffee cup space. Trying to figure out what
I wish you guys could see the Dave trying to figure out, do I go over the cable? Do I go under the cable?
Well, there were multiple cables there. I did not want to spill my coffee at all.
Yeah, I get that. I get
cranky when there's too much blood in my coffee stream.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw The Howling?
Oh, it was probably mid to late 80s.
I know that I watched The Howling. I rented it one night. It would have been in the late night. I guess it was probably when I was working at the video store. I took it home one night because I had never seen the uncut version of it. I had never seen the unedited version. I'd only seen it on television. Yeah. And I was like, all right, this is kind of one of those movies that everybody talks about being so good and everything. And I remember watching it and being like, oh yeah, that's an interesting take on the werewolf phenomenon. And
although one that I had heard before.
Yeah. Well, they really lean into the original Wolfman quite a bit. Yeah. Matter of fact, it's playing. It's one of those things with the two reporters. They're watching it at home. And then at the very end of the movie,
you got to see several versions of Wolfman movies.
Right. But that one particularly, because they're watching the Wolfman. And then at the very end of the movie, did you watch it all the way through the credits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then it shows that little clip from the Wolfman again.
One of the first movies to have credit scenes. Yeah. But.
Yeah, and that, it was just a clip from another movie, which is funny. Yeah. But the thing that I've always found, this falls in, and I think we talked about it a little bit when we on air decided we were going to cover this episode. Oh, by the way, Ariel's not with us this time. We had scheduling issues. She is going to be back. Don't worry. It's just that
she'll be back. I'll be gone.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple episodes without her and a couple episodes with her, and then a final episode with all of us. So it's
and I'm in and out.
And it's kind of her schedule and Dave's schedule and my schedule, and then some other stuff that happened just kind of threw everything. What's going on? So when we talked about this a few episodes back, when this kind of came up of we should cover that movie. This movie is in that line of these movies hit different than the stuff that was after it. They really went for realism here.
It's all practical effects.
Well, I'm talking about the tone of the movie though. Oh yeah, was they were trying to go for a realistic. Yeah. Realistic, look,
very serious.
Werewolves have always been among us, and they live in these colonies, and they try to keep a low profile.
Well, they're pack animals,
right? But they're trying to keep a low profile and just kind of coexist alongside. But then you have some older members of the colonies that is no, we should be.
People are our food.
Exactly.
Why are we not hunting these
exactly?
idiots? And
exactly.
I can't say I disagree with them.
Yeah, I mean, that especially if you're a werewolf and, you live on fresh meat, then it makes perfect sense in that, it's kind of like vampires. It's like, Interview with a Vampire, where Louis doesn't want to eat humans. And that's the whole thing, is that, the whole thing between him and Lestat is like, look, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is how we sustain ourselves.
Instead of he's living off of poodles and rats.
Exactly. Or in other mediums like in Buffy and Angel, where it's one of those things where like Angel, sustains himself off of, he knows somebody that works at the blood bank.
Yeah.
So he's always buying blood from them and that kind of stuff. And it's like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, at the core of it, vampires are not good. Okay.
Vampires are just a different creature that happen to be an apex predator.
Yeah, something like that. It's
like
and
werewolves.
You could go to the whole the I Am Legend, situation where have you ever read the book Am I Legend?
I haven't read the book. I need to.
That's the whole, it's and the movie. Don't even bother with the movie. The movie's terrible.
Yeah,
okay?
Both of
them. They changed the ending.
You realize there's two of them, right?
Well, the Omega Man,
right.
And then and there's been other movies that are kind of take the same, but they are vampire-esque creatures, and that's at the end of the book. He says, "I am the thing that the creatures of the night fear."
Yeah.
I am legend. That's the whole thing where it's this. He realizes that the way that humans have been for all these hundreds of thousands of years is gone.
Yeah.
This is the new society, and I'm the outsider here.
Yeah.
And that's but yeah. What I was going to get to is like talking about this movie hitting differently. One of the things you can draw a straight line between this and American Werewolf in London. Okay, which I think they came out the same year, didn't they, or something like that? Somewhere close to it.
I'll look at it while you
around
talk.
each other.
Yeah.
It's funny because there were these werewolf movies that came out in the 80s. You had this, you had American Werewolf in London, you had Wolfen, which have you ever seen Wolfen?
I had forgotten about Wolfen.
Yeah, and that was it was Native Americans.
Yeah.
And they were living in the city, and this kind of stuff. And they all have a different take, kind of. The thing that I always had a problem with American Werewolf in London is the fact that they kind of broke all the werewolf rules.
Lore.
The lore that we had. It's like, he's still, full moon, that kind of stuff, but he could be killed by just regular bullets. Didn't have to be silver bullets.
No, it has to be
whatever.
silver bullets.
But not in American Werewolf in London. They take him down with just regular gunfire.
Yeah.
And then, of course, also the whole him seeing the people that he killed, they're like always following him around and everything. That's something new.
Okay, so The Howling was released in March 13th of 1981. American Werewolf in London was released August 21st of 81.
Okay, so they came
which
out
means
the same year.
they were being filmed at the same time.
When did Wolfen come out? It was somewhere in the early 80s. 82, 83 maybe. I'll tell you another. As you can tell, we're probably going to talk a lot about werewolves, besides this movie, which is fine because I'm on board with it.
That was July 24th of 81.
Okay, so there's three werewolf movies that came out right there together.
These were all basically filmed and produced at the same time.
Uh-huh. Oh, let me look at something else. So there's another one that... Okay, that was later. All right.
1985, if it's the one I think you're thinking.
I'm thinking of Company of Wolves, which is 84.
Oh, okay.
Which one were you thinking of?
Silver Bullet.
That was 85.
That was 85.
So, all right, well, let me look at something else because there's another one that also on that we were going to talk. There was when Fox launched back in the mid 80s, there was a television series called Werewolf that came on. It wasn't one of their premiere, or it wasn't one of their launch. I think it was in the second season that the network was on the air. But it was on Fox. Yeah, and John J. York played, the guy that played Eric Cord, who was the main protagonist. But it was kind of cool because Chuck Connors played the werewolf that bit him.
Okay.
And he was searching it out. It was the whole thing. The lore that they had in that show was that if you could find, or if you could kill the wolf that created you, then you would be
Cured?
You would be cured.
No, that's vampire lore.
Well, but that's the way they did in this.
That's not wolf lore.
Again, they were playing fast and loose with a lot of this stuff. It's a cool series. It's not available on DVD.
Okay.
That was one of those that they never released on DVD, and it sucks because I'd love to go back. Now I know that a lot of it's on YouTube, and there have been bootleg copies of it roaming around forever at conventions and stuff. I think there's some kind of rights issue, and also the fact they really don't put a whole lot of stuff out on DVD, like television series on DVDs much anymore.
It's a shame.
It really is, because there's that being one of them. There are several things that I would love to have on DVD that just doesn't exist.
Is it terrible that I'm actually looking at buying a new player because I still have all my physical media?
No, not in the slightest. That's I've gotten to the point to where I don't even really play video games much anymore, as far as like newer games.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that I have my Xbox is because it's a 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
And it's also a media player.
Gotcha.
In general. So it's like, okay, well I can just, there you go. Yes. So
that's what I've got Plex for.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about the cast. You have the Howling. Oh, what I was going to get to, talking about breaking lore, because this movie does a little bit, because we actually see them in the middle of the day transform. Yeah. Which, that scene in the office, whenever she's on the phone, and then all of a sudden the wolf just appears and hangs up the phone. When I was a kid, even seeing the edited version of it, that scared the crap out of me, because it's completely something's getting ready to happen.
Oh yeah,
but you're not expecting that. And it's like, whoa. It's like, when did they start coming out in the middle of the day? That's some crazy stuff that you just don't get a whole lot. Of course, we talk about when we covered Silver Bullet last year.
Yeah,
about how they kind of broke their whole thing was he's kind of a werewolf all month long. He just gets wolfier as the moon gets fuller, that kind of stuff. And but yeah, let's get into the cast. We had Dee Wallace as the main character, Karen White.
Yep.
And we had Patrick McNee as Dr. George Wagner.
Kind of the leader of...
Yeah, he's the head of the colony, as they call it.
Yeah.
You had Dennis Dugan as Chris. You had Christopher Stone as Bill Neal, who is Karen's... Are they married, or are they just...
No, they're married.
They're married.
She kept her maiden
that's
name
right.
because she was
that's right.
talking head.
Because she's a newscaster.
News actor.
Yeah. You had...
not a very smart one.
Yeah. Belinda Belaski as Terry Fisher. You had Kevin McCarthy.
Who was actually a more interesting character.
She was the investigative reporter. She
Yeah.
really is. You had Kevin McCarthy as Fred Francis. You had John Carradine as...
Earl Kenton.
Earl Kenton, yes. Slim Pickens as Sam Newfield. He is the sheriff in the town where the colony is located.
Yep.
You have Elizabeth Brooks as Marcia. We'll talk about her in a minute. Robert Picardo is Eddie. I did not realize that was Robert Picardo.
Oh, really?
I did not realize, who is this guy? And I was like, oh, wow, okay, because Robert Picardo is one of those, hey, it's that guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those, you see his face, you're like, oh, yeah, Noble Willingham is Charlie Barton. You have, there was somebody else that I saw. Meshack Taylor is in this. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Meshack Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Designing Women.
I didn't
he was
realize.
in, He is in this. Let's see.
Chance.
Yes.
What character was that?
I don't remember. I think it's one of the... because I didn't see him. It was when I was looking down the list that I saw him. I'm like, oh, who was it? I think he was in the Times Square, whatever, all of that stuff maybe. The one... Okay, Dick Miller. Because... as Walter Paisley, how can you not have an 80s genre film without Dick Miller being in it? I mean, that's just, he is a legend of that kind of stuff. James Murtaugh is Jerry Warren. The one that I picked out that is just a arrest. Oh, actually, there's two of them in here. I didn't even realize he was in it. Well, first off, Roger Corman is in this. He is the guy at the phone in the beginning at the phone booth.
Yeah.
That's Roger Corman, the director. Mick Garris is the man is in this also. It's another director, a horror director. The one that I picked out though, because it was like most people wouldn't unless you were in the know, and even with the Easter egg, when they are in the bookstore and they're walking up to the counter the first time they're in the bookstore, okay, and there's a guy that's looking at the tarot cards.
Yeah.
And Dick Miller walks up and says, "Hey, you gonna buy those, or you're just gonna look at them?"
Yeah.
And then he turns around and he walks away, and he's got in his hands he's got a couple of copies of Famous Monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Forrest J. Ackerman, who founded Famous Monsters magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he also was a huge collector. He's kind of one of those guys that, like, if you know who he is, you know who he is.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're kind of like, but yeah, he's the one that founded and ran Famous Monsters for all the years. He had a huge collection of movie memorabilia, especially horror movies and stuff like that. He died a while back, but I was like, all right, that's cool that they're putting all these people in here. And Dee Wallace was good in this. Okay,
Yeah.
Dee Wallace has excelled playing a woman with problems. Okay. Think about it. This movie.
Okay.
E.T.
Yeah.
Cujo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's kind of her. Okay, yeah, she's got problems. It's a.
Well, I mean, this character that she's playing isn't very smart because she volunteers to be the bait.
Because this guy Eddie has been calling her.
Yeah.
That he's a serial killer. And
it's like, hey, can you meet me in the peep show booth at an
which
adult
is,
bookstore?
And of course, that's how it starts off with them.
Yeah.
They're live on the air. They're following her.
Yeah.
And of course, they've got the police and this and that and everything. And it's kind of trying to find. She's trying to find Eddie, and then it goes wrong, and they quote unquote kill him. But of course, that doesn't take. And they were talking to Dr. Wagner about his book.
Yeah.
And about the colony that he runs, with people who go, in this colony, and they it's kind of like a retreat away from everything to work on mental health and all that kind of stuff. And so it's one of those things, the setup of her going there after the fact because she's having real trouble after being attacked.
Yeah, she can't remember anything that happened in the peep show booth.
Right, and so they go up there, and then that's when we start learning about werewolves.
Yep.
Now, I had to go back. I watched this the other night, but I had to go back today before you got here because I was like, I missed something here.
Okay.
And I couldn't quite, I was like, it had to do with the other two reporters of how they wound up with everything. And then I apparently I had gotten up or I had gotten distracted or something and missed all of when they were actually in Eddie's apartment. Oh, and they started finding a bunch of the stuff.
Yeah.
And which led them and to the bookstore.
Right.
Because it was like when I was watching it initially.
Because they found Eddie's apartment before the cops did.
Right. And that's when they found out that his last name, was it Quint or something like that?
Yeah.
Was it Quint?
Hold on. I'm looking.
It's just Eddie in the listed here. I think it was a Quinto.
Quist.
I knew it was a Q. Quist.
Eddie Quist.
I knew it was and starts kind of putting some pieces together that the cops haven't figured out yet. Of course, they go and talk to Dr. Wagner, about his drawings and everything, and so I kind of missed.
Yeah, because he's the brother to Marcia,
right? And I saw some of it. Like, again, I apparently got distracted when I was watching it for whatever reason. And so later, like, I saw the bookstore scene, but I missed the owner, Walter, talking about somebody had ordered silver bullets.
Yeah, somebody had ordered that
and never picked them up.
Box of silver bullets
and never picked them up.
Yeah.
So I missed that part. So later in the movie, when what's his name? Was it Fred?
I forget.
Or was it Earl? Which one was it? Anyways,
It was Fred.
It was Fred. Yeah, when Fred goes and like gets the bullet and just like throws money on the thing, he's like, "Hey, I need a jeweler. I need to have a jeweler look at that." He's like, "Yeah, bill me." I was like, "Well, how did he know to go get those like where to get the bullets
you missed
from?"
a big chunk of the.
So I was like, so I had to go back and kind of like. I fast forwarded through the stuff I remembered and got to those parts. I'm like, oh, okay, this is filling the parts. This is a movie that, on the surface, you don't think you have to really sit down and watch. But I'm proving right now that you kind of have to sit down and watch this movie and pay attention to what's going on. I really enjoyed the practical effects.
Yes.
Did Rick Baker work on these?
Yes,
he did.
That was a Rick Baker.
Okay. It looks like stuff. Again, it kind of looks like the transformations from American Werewolf in London, and. Again, it goes back to the whole practical effects 40 odd years later still look good.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to go see really bad CG effects, go watch American Werewolf in Paris. That came out in 97.
Yeah.
And that looks horrible. It has not aged well. Matter of fact, it didn't look that great to begin with in 97. It really looks bad now.
Yeah.
So...
No, I'm like 99% sure it was a Rick Baker.
Now, I really wish that Ariel was here so that we could talk about Elizabeth Brooks' 1980s Bush. But
Good grief.
that sex scene that's in there.
Where it turns into animation.
Animation, that's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Because it really does kind of give this whole, like, okay, it's something, all right, yeah, they just kind of went completely campy with it. But, yeah, the fact that it turns into animation when they transform at the end of it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Brooks died in...
I think he was the consultant for the Howling, because he also did work on American Werewolf.
Elizabeth Brooks died in 97. She had cancer.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she died and she was like 46 years old.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at some of the stuff she was in, she had been like several, I think she'd done like some soap opera stuff. And hold on, let's look at this. Yeah, $6 Million Man. Let's see, The Howling, Solitary Days of Our Lives, Rockford Files, Starsky and Hutch, Rich Man, Poor Man, Emergency, Marcus Welby, MD, like a lot of stuff through the 70s. And into the very early 80s. And she even worked into the 90s some, in the very early 90s. Like I said, she was in an episode of Jake and the Fat Man. But yeah, just beautiful woman and taken far too soon. Again, screw cancer. That is too many people die of cancer these days, it's ridiculous. So.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this movie. I honestly kind of went into it thinking I might not like it so much because of...
It took me a couple times of watching it because the first time I watched it, I was like, this is not so great.
Yeah.
I was like, let me watch it again. Okay, maybe it's a little better than I thought it was.
Yeah. The ending of it, the way that whole... There's an interesting... I guess it's an interesting commentary on... television, the way that the media and stuff, where she, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the movie, at the end of she gets bitten, Karen does, and then her and Fred go back by Bill. Yeah, they go back to the news station,
because she's like, we got to warn
people, and so she starts. She goes live on air and
does a commentary
and then transforms, and then Fred shoots her, kills her in the thing, and then they go to other people who are watching it who are just kind of like, yeah, whatever, like in a bar and this and that kind of stuff. It's kind of that whole,
well, I guess they're going too far with the news now.
Yeah, exactly, and that kind of where it's just kind of a, okay, whatever, and. You can still say that same thing now. It hasn't changed much in 40 plus years, and so. But it interesting movie. I know there were multiple sequels to it. It's funny because what's the second one? The second one has a different.
Well, what's funny about that is when they're at the bar talking about how it's fake or it's not real, blah blah blah, and the guy's like, "Well, hold on, I'm screw that. I'm busy." It's like, hey, honey, you want a drink? and you turn around and
No, he said, "You want a burger?"
yeah.
She's like, "All right," and she says, "Yeah," and it's Marsha.
Yeah.
and she's like, "Yeah, how do you want it? Not medium or rare?"
I want it rare.
I want it rare. It's like, okay, Marsha made it out. So,
Which I think she was probably the de facto alpha
you think so?
of that pack.
I don't know. They kept setting it up that Wagner was the head of it.
Yeah,
but then there were
was
other guys as well that were kind of.
I think they were all patsies underneath her.
Could be. She did kind of. She was a force of nature from the very moment that she's on screen all the way through. It's like, oh, okay.
See, I think she was the head of that pack the whole time.
Yeah,
especially with Eddie being her brother.
Yeah, and then that whole situation where Eddie comes back at the end, and the scene where Terry is attacked, and she cuts off his arm.
Yeah,
that's really good special effects.
Yeah, it is.
Like really good special effects. Again, practical effects hold up over time. I was really impressed.
The way that prosthetic folded up. And
then came back, unfolded, and being a human hand, and it was really. It looks good. Yeah, I mean, it's like again, practical effects hold up better than anything else.
That wasn't Eddie's arm that she cut.
No, it wasn't his, but it was one of the other ones. Yeah, because Eddie's attacking. Eddie was actually he came in after Karen found where she had been killed in the office. Then Eddie came in. Yeah. And that was when you find out that...
That was a little bit of underacting on Dee Wallace's part.
Yeah.
I could see where they could make the argument that she was in shock, but the fact that she doesn't scream or get upset or anything, she just basically drags that sheet over the top of her.
I know that Dee Wallace has been in some pretty big movies and had a really good career and still has a really good career. She still shows up and stuff, but I've never been a big fan of her acting. It's just...
What was it, Fanboy 13 that she was in here recently? I think that was the latest thing I saw her in was Fanboy 13.
Maybe. Is that the Friday the 13th thing? Yeah. Yeah, because doesn't she play his mom?
No, she plays herself. Fanboy 13 is about a copycat murderer that's going after all the Jason actors.
Was she in that?
Yeah,
hold on.
She was like one of the
I'm looking.
She was one of the main characters.
I'm not seeing it listed on her IMDb. That's not to say that it's not there. Okay, it's just saying it's. Hold on. What year did that come out?
It was recently.
Yeah, 13 Fanboy.
That's it.
13 Fanboy. Yeah, that was in 20. Oh, it was made in 21. But she's been in stuff since then. I mean, she was in the new Jeepers Creepers movie, and she was in Monsters. That's right. She's kind of one of she's one of Rob Zombie's actors that he uses all the time now.
Yeah. In fact, the movie was 13 Fanboy was directed by Deborah Voorhees.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's been. You go back. Hold on. The thing is, she has been in so much stuff that I am just like scrolling down, and I'm still in the 2000s. It's just let's see. She was in the Howling, E.T., Cujo. I'm seeing a lot of TV stuff.
You forgot the Stepford Wives. The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, whoa. I guess I didn't go back far enough.
You forgot The Hills Have Eyes.
Didn't go back far enough. Let's see. Stepford Wives in 75, Hills Have Eyes in 77. But she was in stuff like The Man from Atlantis and Bigfoot and Wild Boy, Starsky and Hutch, Policewoman,
Alligator 2, The Mutant.
She was in Lou Grant, Chips, Mrs. Columbo, a bunch of television.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of going through looking at her. She was in The Twilight Zone in the 85, the reboot. Some of those were really good back then. Critters. Like I said, she has a very... she was in Popcorn, Alligator 2.
Yeah, I just said that.
L.A. Law. Alone in the Dark. I mean, she's been in a bunch of stuff, and she has... And I will give her... She has got the the horror credentials. I mean, because she's done so much of it over the years. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of her acting. That's she does what she does.
Yeah.
You know, and she's not asked to do any more than that, and that's fine. Like you said, she kind of underacted a little bit. With that with the whole Eddie.
There should have been
the first meeting between them was fine.
Yeah.
But it was that second one, whenever he starts turning into a werewolf in front of her, she's kind of not really.
She's kind of like, well, I mean, when she walked into the room and saw her dead
friend,
friend, instead of just walking in the room and grabbing a sheet and covering her up, there should have been
who she had called because her husband had been attacked by a wolf.
Right.
And they drove all the way, and she drove all the way up there.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there really wasn't.
There should have been some screaming. There should have been some crying, some freaking out.
While we're talking about werewolves,
okay,
there was a movie that came out in 84, excuse me. It's called In the Company of Wolves. It's got Angela Lansbury.
Okay.
It's basically a Little Red Riding Hood story, is what it is. But it's very much a fairy tale.
Okay.
So it's like she plays kind of the grandma, and she's telling the stories.
Yeah.
She's telling stories to her granddaughter about
why you don't go walking
in the woods by yourself. And she's telling these stories about, these other tales, these folk tales about, meeting somebody on the road and this kind of stuff. And
Grimm's fairy tales before
in a
they
lot
got
of ways.
Disney eyes.
Yeah, and the thing is that the special effects are really good in it. It's very... The tone of it is very serious. It's not campy. It's not anything. It's very old world folktale stuff about werewolves.
Grimm's Grimmest.
Pretty much. Another one, and it was one of them that I thought about maybe putting on our list of things to cover.
Yeah.
And I know that Ariel would have been in for it, is the movie Ginger Snaps. Because I picked up a copy of it on Blu-ray earlier this year, and I was like, this might be a good one, and maybe we'll do it next year or something like that.
All right.
But it came out in early 2000s. It's a Canadian film.
Okay.
Mimi Rogers is in it, and I'm trying to think who. But it's an interesting. It came out in 2000. Yeah, it is an interesting take on werewolves in that it's a kind of an allegory for girls becoming women, type thing of.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really weird. Like I said, it's Mimi Rogers, and she's got two daughters, Bridget and Ginger. It's Ginger's played by Catherine Isabel, and then Emily Perkins.
Oh! In the movie, does she snap?
Kind of, but not they. That's never. Yeah, you get it. That's the whole Ginger snaps. Yeah. But it's one of those things where, like, she gets bitten.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things. Is becoming the werewolf is kind of like her coming into her sexuality, to where she's like becoming more confident and that kind of stuff. And it's a whole like kind of taking revenge on the guys that have done her wrong. Type stuff. It's one of those weird movies where, like, it's not a weird movie. It's one of those interesting movies where, like, Mimi Rogers' character of the mom, figures out that something's going on and that her daughters are involved in multiple murders, and she's more concerned with, like, there's a line late in the movie where it's like she finds them trying to clean up a murder, like a scene where they've killed somebody. Yeah, and she's like, well, hurry up, do this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, Mom, and they're trying to explain. She's like, shut up. I've only got you for a few more years anyways. I'm not about to lose any of it. It's just kind of like one of those, like, she's like, I don't care what happened. I'm not having my daughters go to jail and me losing these years with them. Just like. And there are multiple, like, they made several to that one. But that first movie is well worth a watch. I mean, it is well worth a watch.
Huh.
What are you looking at?
I just saw something pop up on my feed.
Uh-huh.
And I went to look at it, and evidently Michael Newman from Baywatch has died.
Really?
Yeah.
Michael Newman. He was the
lifeguard Mike Newman.
Huh. Was he I'm trying to picture his face. Well, it's not like I can't look him up right now.
He evidently had an 18-year struggle with Parkinson's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And evidently passed from heart complications.
Michael Newman. Oh, okay. He was the older guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was 68.
Wow.
Sorry to interrupt.
I
just saw that pop up. That's...
I know we've kind of gotten a little off on this. It's funny. You and I sitting here, we talk less about the movies than whenever Ariel's here.
All of our episodes are train wrecks.
They really kind of are.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Howling 1981's The Howling. I definitely.
I would recommend it.
I recommend. It's a recommend.
It's a classic.
It's another one of those movies that you'll watch, be like, oh, I've seen this before. It's like, well, this is the one that started it, though. You know, that's kind of the, and you gotta.
It's definitely a go back and watch it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's it.
I mean, you don't get Underworld without this one.
Yeah, we can talk about Underworld a different time because
you don't get Little Red Riding Hood, that terrible thing. You remember that one?
That. It's one of the Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah,
yeah. That would be the only reason for me to watch that is because she was in it. And it's I did not watch it.
Yeah,
there have been plenty of
Universal Wolfman, and you've got this one, and you've got American
Werewolf, and then you have.
But those are the three that kind of kept the werewolf film genre kind of going.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, because let's be honest, there have been more bad werewolf movies than there are good ones. I mean,
you're not wrong.
That there's one that comes to mind is Blood and Chocolate.
I don't think I've seen.
Yeah, it came out in the 2000s, and it was supposed to be like this new take on werewolves, where they actually turn into wolves, and this kind of stuff. And it was just a bad movie, and it was just.
Well, then you've also got the Spader Nicholson
Wolf, which I don't like, and that's.
It depends on the day with me.
That I thought James Spader was good in that movie because James Spader plays a great.
James Spader in anything is great.
James Spader always plays a great villain.
Yeah.
And he does in that just like he does in everything else. But the movie itself was just kind of like...
He's the only reason I watched Blacklist.
And then what was the one... was it the Wolfman that came out as Benicio del Toro?
Oh, when they were trying to do Dark Universal?
Yeah, but which is funny because they actually teased that movie like years before.
Yeah.
That thing had like... That's another one of those movies that like... It was teased in like 2007 or something like that, and then it was many years before it finally came out, and apparently it was shot in full and set on a shelf, and they went back and did multiple reshoots trying to, and it was like, God, this is not a tough concept to get right. Okay, it is just not. So why are you having so many problems? And
between that movie and the one that killed Dark Universal, Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
I didn't even see that.
It wasn't even worth.
I heard that was...
It was awful.
Horrible. And I heard that... I didn't see it. I heard that The Invisible Man was really good, though, because it was kind of a...
I didn't even realize they finally released it.
They did, because it's got... what's her name? Elizabeth Moss is in it. And apparently it's supposed to be really good. Like, you take it away from all that quote-unquote dark universe stuff, and it's like, wow, okay. Because it deals with domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And that's the whole, like...
Universal, you had a chance to do Dark Universal and do it correctly, and usual, you screwed it up.
They didn't need to. You know why? Because they'd already done it.
Well, yeah.
And they had done it correctly. You go back and watch those movies from the 30s and 40s.
Oh, I own them all.
Yeah, I know. And those movies, you already have a universe. I mean, you have, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, all this kind of stuff. You don't need to go back and
Abbott Costello
meets. I know. He's Frankenstein, and it's like, you've got it all right there. You don't have to go back and do it over again. So, anyway, that's it for this episode. Make sure and check out all of our socials in the show notes.
By the way, this episode was about The Howling.
Yes, this episode was about The Howling.
Just in case you're confused of what we actually talked about.
The Howling. And werewolves in general, I guess. It's like, like I said, go and check out our socials, and we'll be back soon with a new episode because we're kind of in the home stretch of OctoberFest. There's not a whole lot of time left, unfortunately.
Is there candy in that bowl?
Oh yeah, there is. Open it up.
Oh, did you refill?
Oh, I did one butter. No, look at everything that's in there.
Oh, see, there's caramels in there.
There is caramels. There is our regular autumn mix, but there is also
What is that?
autumn leaves.
Where did you find autumn leaves?
Same place that I found the autumn mix. So I bought a bag of those and I just mixed them all in there together. So it's candy corn, it's the pumpkins, the candy pumpkins, it's the autumn leaves, and it is caramel. So I'm trying to kill Dave. Is what's going
my
on.
inner child loves you. My diabetes monster is absolutely hating you.
I'm really surprised that it took you all the way to the end of the episode before you finally like, hey, is there candy in this? I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to like, all right, let's see what Dave does.
See, this is bad. This is bad.
All right, guys, for the Project Gen X podcast, I'm Alan Smith.
I'm the other guy about to go into a sugar coma, Big Dave.
And we will see you next time.
See ya.